Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie what has become a very popular fly, the yellow owl. Now the original yellow owl was a wet fly pattern and it was tied to represent an adult insect, probably a sedge or possibly an aquatic moth that hatched on Loch Leven in Scotland. It was dressed with a yellow body, a black rib and barn owl secondary feathers to create the wings. An old name for the barn owl was a yellow owl, hence the name of the fly. As time evolved, so did the imitation, and it changed from being a wet fly to a dry fly. It is, of course, not just used on Loch Leven, its success has travelled far and wide. I'm not sure who first used stripped yellow peacock herl, but it's become quite a staple in a stillwater angler's fly box. With the shuttlecock version, and the top hat style being favoured by many. The shuttlecock version probably best for a slight ripple, and the top hat version for flat calms. I think that the fly is best used as a single fly, but whichever version you use, it's important that you degrease the last few feet or half a metre of your tippet. Today I'm going to tie a style that I first saw tied by Dave Downey, who I'm sure you will all know of, a great Scottish international fly angler, and according to Dave, this was his preferred version for a Loch Leven hatch. So let's get into the tying. In the vise, I have a size 14 dry fly hook, and I'll be tying with 10/0 yellow thread. So I'm going to start this around the thorax area. Just tie on the thread, wind down, and trim off the excess. And I'm going to create some thickness to the body with the yellow thread. Just build up some layers. Now this is not a fly that is a full length fly. In other words, it doesn't reach the bend. And back down to the rear. Right, I'm going to tie in the yellow stripped herl. I mean, it's something quite easy to dye yourself. This is just a peacock herl that I've dyed. It's got some really great feathers, or some great herl, which is stripped, creates a lovely colour. And that's the stripped quill. I'm just going to trim up the tip. And tie in the quill. Pull that to length and tie it in. Back down and back up again. Right, now before I tie this in, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on top of the thread, just to hold, too much there, just to hold the quill in place, and wind on. Whether you wind this on in open wraps or touching wraps is entirely up to you. Dave opened the wraps just to create a little bit of yellow thread showing through, presumably to enhance the yellow. Just take your time winding this up. They are fragile. And tie off the strip quill. Trim it up and tidy up. Right, now I am just going to put a very thin coat of varnish on the strip quill, because the trout's teeth certainly can do some damage, and it quickly strips the quill off of the fly. So I'll just give that a zap. Oops. Right, now for the thorax, Dave used some fox squirrel hair, so that's what I'm going to use. I think he preferred that to hare's ear because it was just a little more spiky and created a slightly spikier thorax area. So let's just tie this in. I think that's enough. Pull back the fibers, tidy up. I'll remove that excess. Now for the wing, I used a couple of CDC feathers married up, which I have done, and I'm going to tie those in onto the fly. Now the length of the wing, probably not longer than the length of the fly. Like that, and trim off the excess. And tidy up and build up the head. Before I tie this off, I'm just going to put some glue onto the thread. Trim up the tying thread. Let's have a look. Fairly simple fly, great to use and catches lots of fish. Now if you wanted to use this on the river, which I do from time to time, that's a size 20, exactly the same tying. Obviously a lot smaller, but it's a great fly to use on the river as well, and it's worth giving it a chuck when things are difficult. So thanks for viewing. I hope you enjoyed the tying. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it if you so wish. Bye.